artist or any young person be patriotic?
I think first of all, where you're from and your heritage is extremely important. I know that the borders that we're sitting within were not drawn by us,
Wow.
but you know, we're such an old culture. All of us are such old cultures in this area that we know where our true borders end. The Baganda, we're within these borders, you know, out to the west,
Wow.
you know, the Nyankole are in these borders, the
They are
Basoga in these
Cholis
borders, they are Cholis. So whether or not a border was written by us or not, within these walls, we know that we have a lot to be proud of, and we know we have a proud history.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, we are an economy, and we are judged as an economy, and you can be patriotic towards that as well, uplifting the people and the tribes that you see in this area, because there's nothing that is colonial about that. We used to do that even back in the days. You know, you'd barter trade with the 11 chieftains that made up the Basoga. You know, talk what are, of course, there are always going to be wrangles, but you know who is in and around you.
Sure.
And I think that's what Uganda represents. So for me, first and foremost, you know, it's a thing of understanding that even though there are differences within our borders, we can still all get along and have a common vision.
Yeah.
And then I think it's important also for the youth just to, in terms of their uniqueness,
Yeah.
you know,
As-
it is
as-
what makes you unique. You know, I mean, for other people, I guess it's all right, but I'd never want to be identified as a European or this and that. If
You want
there
to
was
be
any
Ugandan.
if there was any continent I would want to be from, it's here.
Africa.
You know, you see all the trends that happen in music, and including hip hop. You know, that's an African that originated in Africa, and that's something I'm in love with. You know, you see the new Afro pop wave. You know, I'd love to be a part of that. Our fashion, the way we dress, you know.
I just love that, and you're trying to bring in a perspective that really I would like us to deeply go into.
Yes.
The issue of identity.
Yeah.
And so much of the entertainment that we do get, people want to be like the international artists. The dressing, the fashion, the way we talk, we want to be like them.
Yeah.
How can we be so proud of our identity as Africans?
I think there's nothing wrong with being on the world standard as well, but more often than not, you have to select where you do it.
Wow.
As soon as a BBC camera crew comes to me, I'm rocking a
Switch.
kanzu.
You're international.
I'm rocking a kanzu, actually. The opposite.
To represent who you are.
Yes. If I have a CNN crew talking to me, I'm in a kanzu.
Amazing.
I have my back cloth. I have something on me that represents. I have a label.
Yeah.
You know, like a Rapaholics or something that is a Nasimba for you. Something that is from here.
Amazing.
As soon as I talk to a crew that's from outside, when I'm here amongst my guys, we all know what our culture is about.
Cheers.
So it comes on and off. Whenever I feel like it, I dress like that. Because at the same time, you can love more than one thing. I love my culture, but I love hip hop. So I'm gonna dress hip hop sometimes.
Wow.
But as soon as you give me a crew and someone says, "Hey, I'm Steve Smith from CNN," I'm going to
switch.
bang a kanzu so that your whole crew can see I'm a unique artist from Uganda, and I'm patriotic, and I'm, you know, I love my country.
That's very beautiful. Looking at a young person, because the media industry, the entertainment industry are some of the industries that are so much, you know, enticing the young people to join.
Yeah.
What should someone know or put into consideration before joining these industries, most especially the entertainment industry?
It's an industry, unfortunately, and I struggled with this earlier, that is based on how much people like what you're doing. You know, so if you're a person who doesn't want to be judged, this is not the industry for you. That's why some people are like, oh, thank goodness I'm an accountant, because 1 + 1 = 2.
And I will live my private life.
Yes, but as an artist, you can have a good video and a good song, and it still doesn't blow up. People didn't like it. You got Sasha vibes here, and you go to which producer, in a sim, and you put them together, and you still flopped.
Amazing.
You know,
You've put in your money, all that investment.
Yes, so it's not only about your investment. There's so many other layers to it, and it's about being liked, your song being liked, what you've done. You know, something you do in your private life can affect your sales. So it is I think a lot less straightforward than being an accountant or being, you know, there's a gray area in between. The same, I guess, as being a lawyer.
Amazing. So you've done all that, and you have the fame, you've made the name, maybe you've also made the money. How can we use the names and the fame that we have to promote our countries for the better and make sure that we are contributing to the country's development?
Yeah, I mean, there are two ways. You know, because the outlook is twofold. So you can look inward. When you look inward, it's about the youth, because the youth are the future.
Wow.
So you need to see how you're influencing the youth to become role models, how you're influencing them to stand up, you know, and go for what they believe in. And then on the other side, there's the outlook. You know, that's another responsibility.
Yeah.
So you've got this, whatever, you have the responsibility to show other countries what your culture is about, and also why they should come to your country. Let's promote our country. You know, I mean, every time we have 100,000 people coming here, they're coming in with dollars to spend.
But also, when you go to perform abroad, you're
Yep.
also bringing in money,
Exactly.
which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so there's an in-look and there's an outward plan and an inward plan, and both are effective, and both cannot be one. You cannot have one without the other.
Amazing. It's a big challenge. We are right now in the lockdown, and as artists, you're not performing.
Yes.
And I believe this has been an opportunity for many artists to be able to learn, to adjust, and have a lot of other ways of how to earn.
Yes, yes.
I understand you're venturing in agriculture.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's surprising.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to believe Navio in agriculture. Hey,
Yes, digging.
you know,
Yeah.
it's really hard to believe.
Yeah.
What do you talk about artists or even any other ordinary person being able to invest in a number of ventures,
Yeah.
but most especially speak to the artists who
Yes.
are crying out right now, mutugule mukolechi. Yes, it's right, Baba Gule,
It is, yeah.
but how can we learn from this to
Yeah.
learn to invest in different ventures?
I guess that is exactly it. You know, it doesn't get more simple than that. We basically had a situation where, you know, as artists, you're taught to push and you're taught to risk everything.
Wow.
Push and risk everything. And that is what gets you further sometimes.
Yeah.
And now you have a situation that I was in where it's like, okay, I've gone past a lot of the boundaries that, you know, was set up for me.
Yeah.
Hip hop had never made it out of Kampala,
Sure.
you know, let alone selling out shows in Gulu, up west, north, selling out shows in Kenya. I do album launches in Kenya. That doesn't happen. You know, Big Brother Africa, the finale, 300 million Africans watching. You know, I basically broke so many
Barriers.
rules and so many barriers and so many records
Okay.
as far as my sales and my shows that I was in that position where I was like, hold on, there has to be something else. So do I continue chasing these artists on the continent like I've been doing? I know I'm in top 5 that particular year.
Sure.
I knew I was in the top 5.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I do that? Do I risk it all? Or do I have a bit of, should I put something
That
away
you can
on the
follow.
side, diversify?
Yeah.
And that is exactly how I started with agriculture. So we started off, and now it's a whole family thing, but it was just a couple of us who started at first on the project for agriculture. And now we just pulled in people, you know, and partners, and that was 6 years ago. So people are like, oh, you started agriculture. I'm like, no. Actually, I've been setting it up.
Wow.
But it's now, you know, God brought COVID, or not God, sorry.
And you're able
COVID
to-
came, you know, and a God in his wisdom was able to advise us 6 years ago to diversify.
that, yeah.
But I think, you know, of course, it also burns. Sometimes you want to chase those Wizkids and Davidos,
Yeah.
you know, and that takes a lot of time, takes a lot of energy, takes a big team, takes, you know, and I can understand why people want to do music all the time,
Okay.
you know, to uplift themselves and push forward with the music. But yeah, I think this teaches us you need to diversify at least in a little bit.
Amazing,
You know,
good
yes,
stuff. So
yes.
that's amazing. Basically, before we finish this interview, what do you have to tell a young person out there? Today we have, youth leaders coming from all the divisions of Kampala.
Yes.
How can we focus on things that do, help us to develop and become better citizens as young people, other than these things of, just being around the city?
Yes.
What do you have to say to the young person out there?
I think the position that you are handed, the position that you're in, if it is at all, if you can say, you can wake up in the morning at all and be like, oh, I'm blessed to have a roof over my head, I'm blessed to have food on my plate, whether it's 2 meals, not even 3.
Yeah.
I'm blessed to have a place to work. I'm blessed that I have someone who supports me. I'm blessed to have friends. If you can say any of those things, then you need to think about blessing someone else
Wow.
with those things.
Amazing.
You know, because you've been granted something a lot of times not by your own goodness. You've used your brain, yes, but someone has said, okay, I'll look at your proposal, or okay, I'll do this, or okay, come work for me and do this. It's not just by your own amazingness. There was a company there that was set up 50 years ago, and now you're only joining it. You understand?
Yeah.
So you need to be part of those people who are empowering. Whatever in your small context, that kachapati you buy for a kid on the side of the road, you know, because you know that he's going to start hanging with the wrong people. Those small things can really change somebody's life. So I think it's just a knock-on effect where you have to think about others. Start thinking about the broader picture. You can join associations, scouting, you know, stuff like the Scouts, these associations to help people. There are people who, you know, have it, keep Kampala clean.
Yeah.
Whatever disturbs you. Because I see people get out of their cars, they're like, oh, this street is so dirty.
Yeah, but it's your responsibility to do something about it.
That is what disturbs you. Do something about it. For me, I see these, you know, I see people in beating women in homes, GBV, gender-based violence. That stuff looks cowardly to me, but I know there's a social problem. So we help people, the girls, and we help the boys. That is something that disturbs me. I get involved wholeheartedly. Amazing. Maternal health. I have 4 kids. Seeing babies dying every day, 16, really, you know, 2,000 babies dying. 2,000? Can you imagine? Within Uganda? That's every hospital. Losing 3 or 4, 5, 6 people a day, every day in Uganda. So that's something that affects me. I hear the story, I get involved where I can.
Amazing.
So I think if everyone just takes that mind frame, you know, we'll hopefully start seeing some differences.
Well, I do believe all the other artists are going to, you know, pick a leaf from what you're doing to be able to impact the young people in whichever kind of societies they are coming from. Lastly, kindly give us a drop. I'll be doing a disservice to the person watching. Now you're getting offset without a drop.
Without
really?
doing something.
Yes, yes. Right.
Yo. It's neighborhood Nav, yo. I do it for the people. In a league with Philly, Ellie, Afrigo. Wow. You say you're rapping, but you're acting. No, you know De Niro. If you were #1, that doesn't make me 0. Because y'all got tons of rhymes. That's good.
Amazing, amazing. We're still live here in Kazi Scouts Camping Grounds, where young people and youth leaders from Kampala are right here to undergo patriotism training to make sure that they understand better how they can serve their people. And with me right here is a very important person, authoritative and in charge of this city. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Welcome to Youth of Purpose.
Thank you.
Kindly introduce yourself.
I'm Kabuye Chofa, but commonly known as Chofa Togabye, the Minister of State for Kampala Capital City Authority and Metropolitan Affairs.
Yes, amazing. Why is it in the interest of KCCA to mentor and train young people, especially youth leaders, in patriotism and mindset change?
Just like any other area, because Kampala or capital city is also not all that so different.
Yeah,
it's the people are the same, the youth are the same, they have the same character cut across the country and probably the world. However, the most important thing is the youth in Kampala are the pillars. Normally they are the pinnacle, and they always the example of all the youth around the country. So it's better to have smart youth in terms of thinking, in terms of talking, in terms of action, and whatever they do, in terms of even walking and doing business.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, much of they are youth, but these are adults. They are all voting age. They are above 18 years, so they are adults. So what we expect out of them is to be productive and being the agents of socio-economic transformation.
How are you empowering these youth leaders in different decisions, in different divisions, to be able to serve their people right and to, you know, practice their mandate?
Of course, they have a constitutional mandate, which is well laid. They have their youth council, which is also with a lot of, which is also well ready with their constitution. But at the end of the day, all that put aside, they have an obligation and a mandate to participate in government programs and also to participate in their societies, and at the same time, they are charged in transforming their communities. So in that way, we just need to awaken. We are not even doing a lot of things, but we just remind them, this is what you should do. Because certain things, most of them have gone through school, they have gone to schools, they are graduates. But the question is, how do we transition transition from the children and from the academia to to face the world, the realities of the world. So that's what is being done in mindset and other things, because they know and they have been doing it. But the problem is, how do we help you do it better?
Amazing. Talking about government programs, we know Kampala has one of the biggest populations, and of which we have those young people who are unemployed. What is KCCA doing to make sure that these young people have what to do and are earning a living?
Of course, one of the things they are doing is this one, because you know, whenever you want to do something, you have to first train someone. You have to teach someone. I understand you ask a question, but these guys, all these youth have been in school. Yes, true, they have been in school. But the problem is they have been getting the papers and qualifications. Now, transforming what they got from classrooms and lecture rooms to the realities of the world is the problem.
The issue.
So KCCA have been doing a lot of things, including skilling, providing them with startup capitals, income generating activities, supporting their self-help projects. So KCCA basically have been doing a lot, but all surrounding on one, empowerment and training basically. And of course provision, including training of skills like farming skills in Chanja, KCCA farm. So they have been trying to do a lot.
Amazing. What a message you write from the Honorable Minister for Kampala Capital City Authority. I do hope as a youth of purpose you're inspired and you know better how you can be able to transform your lives. Thank you so much, Honorable, for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're still right here on Youth of Purpose, and we are still looking at how the young people can be empowered to become better and better through patriotism, but also through mindset change. Now, like I told you, we are still in Kazi Scouts Camping Grounds, where youth leaders from different, divisions of Kampala are here to undergo a patriotism training to be able to also get the knowledge to lead their fellow youths effectively. Now, I'm going to be talking to a very, very authoritative person as far as our town here in Kampala is concerned. Hello, sir.
Yes, hello.
Welcome to Youth of Purpose.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Say hello to the viewer.
Hello, viewers. My name is Hood Hussein, the resident city commissioner for Kampala Capital City, and I'm so happy to be here.
Why is it that important for youth, especially here in the capital, to undergo patriotism training?
First of all, youth, as we are all aware, are the future of the country. They are young people, and by virtue of being young, they are vulnerable. The vulnerability comes about because as young people, they are yet to fully discover themselves. And because of that, there are people who tend to take advantage of them. There are people who want to misguide them or to use them. And by implication, as a government, we are obligated to guide the future of the country, and this can best be done through guiding the young people. Patriotism, as we are all aware, is a necessity for any country. It is something that does not just come about by accident. It is something that must be deliberately designed to ensure that our young people acquire the required aspects that are required of a good citizen or a responsible citizen. So that's why we are here in Kazi to plant a seed and ensure that we water the seed. It's not enough to plant the seed. It is required of us to garden the garden. To ensure that we get the fruits out of this, out of the garden.
Amazing.
And this is what we are trying to do to our young people. We need, as a country, to make people understand what it means to be patriotic. Otherwise, we shall end up admiring other countries. Loving a country does not mean loving another country, but loving your country.
And that should start by you loving yourself.
Exactly. You start by loving yourself, accept who you are and ensure that you now translate this into loving the country as a whole.
You know, as Kampala, we have a very, very big population, and this population is cosmopolitan in nature. How are you as KCCA going to be able to help these young people and utilize this big population for the better use of the country, despite of the differences of who they are, the parties, where they come from? How are you going to be able to utilize this kind of a population?
Well, there are already a number of programs in this country targeting the young people. And these do not target specifically young people of a particular political party. They target all the young people in the city. All government programs are there for the people. We have the Youth Livelihood Program, which is targeting young people irrespective of political affiliation. The same to the Emyoga program, to the Community Demand-Driven program, and now to the forthcoming Parish Development Model.
Yes.
We mobilize young people to ensure that they benefit from these programs, and through these programs, they learn to be responsible citizens, they learn to work hard, they learn to get a livelihood. Secondly, through trainings of this nature, we bring young people here irrespective of political affiliation. They are not here as NRM, as NUP, as FDC, they are here as Ugandans.
Wow.
And the first thing we all acquire is being Ugandans. Political parties come after.
Yeah.
Religion comes after.
Uganda first.
Tribe comes after, but you become a Ugandan.
Wow.
And that's what unites us. As young people, what unites them most is that they are young. And as young people, they have similar challenges. They are all struggling to start life, struggling to earn a living,
Wow.
still struggling to finish education and acquire a career or profession. These character traits unite them as young people, irrespective of color, of religion, of anything else. And what brings them together are their needs. As a young person, you want to maybe to be a professional, lawyer, or a doctor.
Yes.
As a young person, you want to be an entrepreneur. And those needs bring them together. Whether you are NRM or FDC, you are going to work together or put resources together, not because you are FDC or because you are Muslim or Muganda, but because you are all targeting to be rich.
Wow.
That uniqueness of the needs of all human beings is what should unite us. And this is the message the President has regularly told us, that we should be united by our needs, as opposed to getting united by I'm a Muslim,
Wow.
by I'm a Muganda or a Musoga, by I'm NRM. That is secondary. The primary thing is we all want to survive.
Wow.
So can we put heads together to work towards achieving what we want to be? And that is the message here, the message of loving one another, irrespective of political affiliation.
Let's talk about the issue of security just in 1 minute. How are we going to make sure that the young population is used to improve the security in the city, not to be part of, antagonizing this, the security that we already have?
First of all, security starts with you as a person. We have security agencies, we have the police, the army, we have ISO, and all those operatives who are helping us to secure the city. But if, for example, right now, we get a security challenge, how will the security operatives come to help us if we don't communicate?
No.
If you don't have their contact,
Yeah.
if you're not in touch with them, if you have distanced yourselves. So it is all about us keeping in touch with the security officers.
Yes.
It's about us being vigilant. If, for example, you're carrying that bag, and I'm not bothered what is in that bag, and all of a sudden it is detonated, we shall all die.
Wow.
But if we are conscious enough to establish whether or not that bag is carrying safe items,
Yeah.
then we shall be to blame by ourselves.
Amazing. I do believe the message is gotten. Thank you so much, RCC, for speaking to us.
You're welcome.
And for being on Youth of Purpose. Yes, that's all we had for you right here on Youth of Purpose. I hope your lives are going to be transformed as you become a better Ugandan and contribute to this country's development to make sure that Uganda becomes better and better. This show is proudly brought to you by the National Secretariat for Patriotism Corps, Office of the President, under the theme Uganda First. Putting Uganda first in all that we do, helping the population when you're a leader to make sure that they transform their lives. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Youth of Purpose, brought to you by Uganda First.